scrambled eggs are underrated. And of course, there's a lot of conjecture out there about how to make the best eggs. Do we use milk? Do you use water, seasoning, cook time? Truth be told, I think it's a combination of all of these things. And today we're gonna put them to the test. Also, I pride myself in making some of the best scrambled eggs on the planet. Just ask my impartial client.
Oh my God, they're fantastic!
The first step is to beat your eggs.
Rumble things about a bit.
If you can crack your eggs one-handed, more power to you. Keep it up. I can typically do this without incident, but sometimes my hand-eye coordination just isn't what it used to be. Beating your eggs ahead of time provides for 3 crucial elements. Number 1, it thoroughly combines the yolk and the white. Number 2, allows for integration of seasoning and other ingredients, like milk and water. And number 3, introduces some air to the party to create that light and fluffy texture. The last 2 elements, I think, are what distinguishes fantastic scrambled eggs
Oh my God, they're fantastic!
from blah scrambled eggs. Now let's talk about those ingredients. My go-to is milk, water, salt and pepper, granulated garlic, and granulated onion. Milk and water? Here's my thought on that. The milk lends a creamy texture and richness to the eggs, and both the water and the water in the milk boil as it cooks, creating steam, again creating those light and fluffy textures that we all know and love. Also, the seasoning. Nothing can be more depressing than taking a bite of eggs just to find that they have no flavor. Even just a bit of salt can make all the difference. If you're cooking for kids, you could leave the garlic out, but I find that the onion can add a bit of sweetness to the eggs. I mean, think about it. What happens when you cook onions? They get sweet, right? And if your kids question you about the ingredients, you can always use the trick that I've been using for years. They're special eggs. What makes them special, you say? Well, I do, of course. But also, if you're a parent, you know that sometimes little white lies are necessary to keep the whining at bay. Let's talk lubrication, shall we? Butter. There, that's it. We don't need to talk about it anymore, just butter. Okay. You can use olive oil or nonstick sprays, but I find that oils can introduce unwanted funky flavors, and that's just no bueno. Plus, butter adds another layer of flavor and makes for a great lubricant, preventing the eggs from sticking. Even if you're using a nonstick skillet, even if it's a brand new nonstick skillet, use some lubrication. Your eggs will thank you. Okay, let's talk scrambling technique. If you've pre-beaten your eggs, then they're already scrambled. If you're going to scramble them in the pan, then may I reiterate elements 1 and 3. This won't allow for a thoroughly combined egg, and it won't lend the proper texture. Unless, of course, you're cooking for your dog, in which case she won't know the difference. Okay, let's talk about some optional ingredients. Sometimes I like to add some green onions, which I recall eating as a child and thinking they were gross. It's funny how our tastes change. But I also like to use mushrooms. I have an infatuation with mushrooms, and any excuse I can use to include them in a dish is not off the table. But one of my favorite ways to eat scrambled eggs is with salsa. I love spicy food, and salsa pairs well with eggs. But I also think there's some unconscious relation to a food memory from when I was a kid and would put ketchup on eggs. One last trick: carryover heat. See how the eggs are glossy and shiny, and as they cook they begin to dull? And just when they have that last bit of sheen, turn off the heat and let them coast. They'll continue to cook in the pan, and more importantly, they'll steam. The point is that scrambled eggs are highly versatile and can be eaten with a variety of ingredients. But it all starts with infusing some flavor and texture at the very beginning. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you would please hit that like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.